All right, so this is day two of running the system, and I'm just about to go check on the plants. On this side, we've got the new aeroponics system. I think the photos may have been slightly old that I uploaded, and I've just introduced about 8 plants to the system. We've got some basil over here, which I just took out of this rock wool because I noticed its roots were starting to appear. Oh, can I get them out? Oh, yikes. Very gentle. Hang on, I'm just going to turn the light on so it's easier to see what's going on. Wow. Alright, so yeah, you can see some of those roots just started appearing. And I was considering leaving it in the rock wool, just because I know that means if the system fails, it's less likely to die straight away. The roots have got a bit of protection. But this was another one that I put in yesterday that just had the beginnings of roots, and I wanted to leave the roots exposed instead of in the rock wool to see what the result was. And they've kind of really rocketed out today. So I don't know if they were just going to do that anyway and it was just a matter of time, or if it was because the roots weren't exposed. But instead of leaving this one in the rock wool, I decided to take it out as well and see how it goes. The different plants, not a great experiment, but hey, sue me. You know, this isn't formal yet, so I don't have to worry about that. I've got this cool little strawberry plant, which, I don't know, the roots are kind of brown there. That's an old one that came from the garden, and it's been sitting here for a couple of days before it was introduced to the system. It might have taken a bit of a beating, and I don't know how it's gonna go. Oh, yep, cool. This is another plant that started off in the garden. That's where all these kind of brown roots are, but if you can see these two roots here, they're new and they weren't there yesterday, which is really cool. Also quite promising. This is my favorite one, the basil. It's the first one that sprouted roots, and it did it yesterday, a day after being in the system, and now they're freaking huge. And they even look a little bit furry. And now the thing is as well, is that there's also it's also very moist right now, and I know people have been talking about the watering cycle and all that jazz. I can't remember off the top of my head what mine is at right now, but I think that maybe they're staying a little bit too damp, because from what I've heard, you want them to look almost dry, whereas I can see a few drips on mine. But since I'm getting good results, like I've got roots here, and I've got a deadline of like 3 weeks away where I kind of need the plants to be growing and looking good, I figure I won't touch anything. I'll let this play out, and then with the next batch I will what's it called, try and sort out the timings a bit better. There's also this big this tomato plant, which is about 4 weeks old. I was experimenting with germination then, and this was the middle of summer, and I knew how to germinate, and then I kind of forgot, and I was a bit stressed, and I wasn't working on this garden. I didn't know if it was going to work, so this was kind of my hobby, growing this plant and a few others. And I don't know, I only put him in yesterday, but oh wow, there's actually quite a decent number of, oh shit. Oh no, he's attached to a string, so if I move him, this isn't good. Oh well. Yeah, so I think all of these white roots that are sticking out, they're all new. And some of the browner ones, like just over there, gosh, my camera's terrible. The screen's cracked. They're not as new. But these ones that are sticking out the bottom, and some of the ones in there, it's a bad angle, they're all new. So yeah, all in all, I'd say things are going pretty good. And here's some basil and mint. Oh, and none of them seem wilted, which is also a good sign. I've introduced plants in here a couple times before, and I think for reasons like the spray is not hitting them, or the pump malfunctioning after a day because I forgot to turn it off. Bad programming there. For various reasons I've come back and the plants have been really wilted, but these are all quite perky, so I think that's another fairly good sign. And these two here, I'm just waiting for some more roots to pop out. Or I was, now that I've seen that these plants kind of were fine being introduced with only the barest kind of little millimeter sized nib of root coming out. I feel like I can introduce those two today And I'm sure that basil's gonna go crazy. And the mint, honestly, it's freaking mint. Anyway, on the other side over here, I'll just describe the setup real quickly as well. So we've got this bucket here. I've got a fan that's not really doing anything at the moment. It's just kind of blowing air over there, but hey. What's different is with this system versus the last one is now I've got 6 misting nozzles, and I need to sort out a better way of draining the reservoir, but I think that's kind of like, I don't know if the plant roots are going to get to the bottom, so I'm thinking that's more of a version 2 kind of project, because for now, money's cheap and I'm, well, God, this is what happens when you film live, isn't it? You can't remember your quotes. But yeah, for reasons that I won't go into right now, I'm going to leave it like this, as is. It's, the water's fairly low down, so I don't think you could really consider it a deep water culture. Like, I don't think the roots will ever get to the bottom, or if they do, so be it. They survived for long enough to get down there, so obviously the aero part of it's still working. It's not just a deep water culture. But yeah, so if I just flick this switch over here, this is the manual release, just so I can give you a quick demo. I've now got 6 misters that are spraying all over. It's pretty cool. And then on this side is my friend Lewis's project, which we set up yesterday, and he's also been having great results. He's doing a fogponics setup here. So is it running? Oh, yep, cool. I got it running. And if I just take the lid off here, and oh yeah, you can see there are all these white roots as well, and they're doing pretty cool. So I'm gonna check the EC and pH and all that jazz of both of these systems later, and probably post the results with this result or on the Reddit or something. But yeah, I am interested to see how this plays out, because this option was significantly cheaper and easy to build, and at the moment seems to be going fantastically, because it's got all these extra white roots that are sticking out, quite a lot of them, and some of them are fairly furry too, so I think that's a good sign. But sorry, I don't know if the camera was pointing at it then. Yeah, there we go. But from what I've been told, the nutrient uptake of the water droplet size that an ultrasonic mister produces is so small that it's not really able to lift up the nutrients as well. So this fog is predominantly water and less like potassium and nitrates and things like that. Now, I don't know if that's true. This is all based off crap I've read on the internet. So we figured we'd set up both of these systems, and I think the nutrients are the same in both of them. If not, we'll set it up properly later on, because we want to do experiments with this. But yeah, I really look forward to seeing how this one in particular goes, because if it works just as well as the misting variant, then I think that's a decent indication that maybe fogponics is the way to go, because it's so much cheaper to set up. Of course, that's assuming that I did the aeroponics system right, and it's not just they're equal because my aero system's crap. But we won't really know the results for another 3 weeks, because I don't believe nutrient deficiencies show themselves until, or I think it's a gradual thing, but don't quote me on that. I'm not a biologist. This is just crap that's coming from the recesses of my mind and memory again. Yeah, cool.